This is cerebral hemisphere, and I will show you what are the surfaces and borders of each hemisphere. This is one border called superomedial border. This one, superomedial border, and this one is inferolateral border, and this one is inferomedial border here, and if I retract it sideways, this is inferomedial border. So inferiorly two borders, one is inferomedial, one is inferolateral. So three borders, and surfaces are superolateral surface, partly superior, partly lateral. So convex superolateral surface, it is bounded above by the superomedial border and below by the inferolateral border. And this is flat medial surface between the again superomedial border and inferomedial border. And the inferior surface, this one inferior surface between the medial and lateral inferior border. But this surface, it is divided by this lateral sulcus into an anterior part called orbital part and posterior part called tentorial part. Why this is orbital part and why it is tentorial part? If you see the hemisphere as a whole, and this is the base of the skull, this is the orbital part of the frontal bone. Though this area of the hemisphere or the frontal lobe, it rests on this orbital part here. So this is the reason why this is called the orbital part. And why this is tentorial part, this one? Because I told you in another video, the cerebellum, this is occipital lobe. In between these two is the fold of dura mater called tentorium cerebelli. So as this lobe is resting on the tentorial cerebelli, this surface or this part is called the tentorial part on the inferior surface of the occipital and temporal lobe. So now we know the different surfaces and borders. And three poles we know: frontal, this is occipital, and this is temporal pole. And four lobes: frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital. Now we will see the different sulci and gyri in the individual lobes.